Today we're going to be checking out a Seadoo wear ring. This is on a 255 horsepower supercharged 4-stroke Seadoo. Quite a machine, but we have reason to believe that the jet pump has sustained some damage to the wear ring and other components inside, so we're going to be pulling it off to inspect those things, change them out, and bring this thing back to its former glory. There's only a few basic tools that you're going to need, and you can pull this jet pump off and put it back on by yourself in your driveway with just some basic sockets and wrenches. So let's go over and see what's going to happen. Here we have our mechanic. George is the mechanic. Tiffany's just here to help. So, George, tell us what's going to happen in here.
No, he doesn't want to.
I guess George isn't going to tell us what's going to go on. So, Tiffany, why don't you tell us what's going to happen here?
All right, I have helped with quite a few of these before, and on the jet pump you need to get off the parts that help you move any of the moving parts. So, like this is your reverse bucket, and we have to disconnect that. That's over here. We'll use a 10 millimeter.
To the light, there we go. So that's the cable for the reverse, because this is a non-IBR equipped ski.
Because I'm super forgetful about where stuff goes sometimes, when I take it off, I like to leave it with one of the parts. And then you don't have to worry about which bolt goes where. So I just leave it back together like that. So we're removing this part of the jet pump and it connects here. This is part of the OPAS system. And so in order to get it out, we have to disconnect it here. That helps with the steering.
And that is a 13 millimeter?
Yes,
yeah. It is.
Have another steering component over here.
The actual steering cable, not the reverse cable. And again, those are both 10 millimeters top and bottom. So here we have the VTS control rod. That's for the variable trim system. Not every Seadoo is going to have this, but if yours does, it's just a 10 millimeter nut and bolt, the same as the steering cable or the reverse cable. The hose right here is another part of the OPAS system on these, so you'll want to unscrew that as well. So Tiffany's got the VTS loosened here, and it is free. You remove the nut and bolt and then pull the rod apart, and she's just put the nut and bolt back in. So now we'll remove that hose for the OPAS. Now what that does, as water pressure increases, it slides the OPAS fins up so that they don't catch when you're going full speed down the water. So if you unhook this, you could have some weird handling things at high speed. So that's popped off, out of the way. We don't need to worry about that hose anymore. Now we can actually go and unbolt the steering nozzle. You need a 13 millimeter with a long extension, and you can see each bolt as we take it off. These 4 bolts sometimes have like a blue Loctite on them, so just be a little bit careful. In some cases, I would say you could use power tools like a cordless impact or something, but do be very careful, especially if the jet ski has been used in any salt water, because spinning those bolts out too quickly, being that there's stainless hardware going into an aluminum housing, or in some cases a plastic housing with a brass insert, it's very easy to gall the threads and create heat and just melt stuff and generally ruin your day when it comes time to reassemble it. So once you get all 4 of those cracked loose, you can spin them out, and then this whole steering nozzle thing kind of will pull off toward you. You will have to be careful because everything is movable, so it's free and can pinch you. And you also have to watch out, the bilge system has little O-rings right here on the steering nozzle assembly. So you need to be careful, make sure those aren't stuck to the side of the pump or something, because if it disables your bilge, it's going to cause some weird issues. You also have to watch, because this model in particular has the aluminum housing for the pump, but it has this little plastic intermediate section for the bilge, and you can see the two little white O-rings that stayed with the pump shoe on this one. Sometimes they will pull off with that plastic housing, so you need to be aware of that when you're going to disassemble it. The pump bolts are a 17 millimeter with that long extension, and you just unscrew these 4 bolts and then pull the pump straight off.
So this piece that I took off, usually you have to hold it on while you take it off or it'll fall off. This one you have to yank. Typically, depends on when it was last taken off, but gotta be a little careful.
It has a seal in there, and if you've had a mechanic that didn't really know what they were doing, they may have used RTV or silicone or something on there, which you should never do. If you're having issues with cavitation or sealing, either replace the seal or look into other areas of air intrusion. You should never need to silicone a jet pump on. That's not to say that we don't see it, but...
You want to swap?
You want me to do it real quick?
Alright, I'm calling in for backup. Because I don't like smashing my fingers. So easy, look at that. It comes off like butter.
Can you see the problem with this one?
Oh, yeah.
This wear ring has gotten just a little bit chewed up here. This is what the wear ring's supposed to look like.
That's a hard plastic. That's not a crummy little thing.
It's a hard Delrin plastic sleeve, and yeah, it's not supposed to be all crumbly and melted. That comes from either picking up debris, which based on the leading edge of this impeller, I would say that this has seen some things. We can also see some other clues as to what happened up inside of here with particulate, and a bunch of the kind of guide pieces that help smooth out the flow are all broken off. So chances are somebody beached this jet ski and sucked up a whole bunch of rocks or something, which has certainly taken its toll on this jet pump system. But the good news is pretty much everything here is repairable. These aren't necessary. A lot of guys in the high performance world will grind these off. It's not really ideal for a stock ski, but it won't really hurt anything to lose those either. The wear ring and cleaning up that leading edge on the impeller will go a long ways in restoring this jet ski back to the performance that it should have. Apparently I'm terrible at remembering to film an outro, so thanks for watching. Here's a video of George rolling around on the ground. We'll see you next time.